Okay, I want to continue with the function of the mind. Um, we started with the clarity and function, and clarity was the formless nature of our mind, clear like space. Um, as far as the function, we know that it was clear. The function of the mind was to cognize or to perceive. Okay, the mind has an enormous number of functions. Beauty, ugliness, good, bad, happiness, and suffering all depend upon mind. Everything we see, hear, smell, taste, touch with our sense awareness or perceive with our mental awareness is created by mind. And then how? Through imputation. An object only exists because the mind imputes it. And this concept is a deeper layer of the function of mind. So, mind labels beauty, good, bad, happiness, suffering, all those things. But at a deeper level beneath them, how we impute things is whether we see them as beautiful or ugly, whether we see them as good or bad. So take that concept of imputation, meaning pretty much everything around us we have an opinion over. Everything around us we impute. One person likes a movie, another person doesn't like a movie. There's not necessarily, it's not a good or a bad movie. It's based on how we impute it. It's easy to see something like that. It's even easy to see where one person is married to another person and they think they're beautiful, and other people think they're ugly, and that person isn't beautiful or ugly from their side, you know. And what this concept is saying, that everything around us, everything is an imputation, and that doesn't deny science. It's just saying that how we impute. Again, how I impute this container is how it's going to function. And the imputation of this container is exactly what the function is. There's nuts in here from planters, and that doesn't negate that this only exists because of the imputation that I make upon it, just like the beauty in some other person doesn't exist simply because I say they're beautiful. I bring their beauty into truth, when I impute beauty upon that person. And the same is true on ugly, the same is true in happiness, sadness, which is why one spiritual practice in regards to working, practicing patience, it becomes, even though there's negative actions or people are being unkind to you, if you don't impute their unkindness, you're able to be patient. So based upon even that, even though the world would say, yeah, they're being mean, if you impute mean, you'll get angry and you'll respond. If you impute something different, if you impute compassion, or if you impute perhaps, that they're, impute something different, that creates a different response. Everything's imputation. This is true of everything. The entire universe exists through imputation. There's not a single phenomenon that is not imputed by the mind. And if you think about it, there's not a single phenomenon that we know of that somebody hasn't thought of, labeled, imputed. Everything depends upon imputation by mind for existence. And think about that. If we didn't impute even gravity, observing it wouldn't function. So the only reason gravity functions, or the only reason this book functions, or this computer functions, is our imputations that bring them into form. And that's where the designs came from, and that's where the technologies evolved from. If we think deeply about this, though, we can understand that both our suffering and our peace are created by mind. And then with this, we'll be able to abandon our suffering and attain peace simply by changing our mind. And it seems simple, but in reality, this is what the practice is intended to do. We're not actively trying to change our mind. We're discovering the true nature of our mind. And as we discover its nature, its function, and its location, again, our persona, our beliefs, our wants, our thoughts, our identifications start going to a deeper level. We start identifying with our mind instead of having a mind. And then this is an interesting perspective. Everyone can relate to this. The examples here are going to bring up some dramatic examples, but in truth, we can all relate to some challenge we have in our life, or something we've overcome, or whether it was weight, or whether it was smoking, or whether it was a previous addict. Everyone's overcome something, so we can all understand what it feels like to be to have our mind controlling us instead of being in control of it. Understanding that everything is created by mind helps us understand the power that mind has. Every living being is under control of mind. In our life, since the beginning, we have been under its control. Whatever our mind has wanted to do, without choice, like servants, we have done it. If our mind tells us to, we kill ourselves. If it says kill your parents or kill your children, then without choice, we are forced to. And I think this is seen even today, where a parent loses their mind and kills their kid and then has this great remorse for it. The society tends to judge murderers and things like that, but when you take this perspective and you equalize your view, with others' view, and we can try to see where we've had no control. We've known we're doing something wrong. We know there's something we have to change. But without control, we continue to do it, and it kind of brings, those bad people to our level where they're without control. It's just we're functional without control. We're societal, we're in balance. People have weight problems, people have drug problems, this and that, but in the same respect, people that do really bad things, it's the same, and it's actually really sad. All right, and we're almost to the actual meditation. So, now going with the function, where let's get the essence of the first two steps so far, because we're building this concept. We're going to be repeating these concepts in our mind, until we have an imagined view of them. And there's going to be some details in that. So I just want to go again. The nature of our mind is a formless continuum, clear like space. Okay? So that's going to be one layer. And whatever it takes us to get to that layer is what we need to spend time with in our own thoughts. Okay? The function of mind, let's try to bring it down to its essence. It's to impute. So the mind imputes. Again, within that, we would try to create a space-like imagined inner view, and just a knowing that it imputes objects, okay? And then the third layer is going to be a location, and the location may have seemed weird on the previous this step one here, but it's your heart. And it's not your physical heart. I'm going to show you ultimately somewhere in our bodies, according to this, and again, we'll either come to see this as true or come to see this as false. I'm not going to deny anything at all. I'm going to try it and see if it's true. And then I'll be able to have some experience, or you'll be able to have some experience of its truth or its falsity, but I'm not going to just disregard it. Simply between the center of your chest here and then the very middle, and it would be further back than the center of the inside of your body. Supposedly there's an actual channel within our bodies that's almost like a candle flame, that it's very soft, very translucent as light. And anyway, part of our mind then is our location. So in this three-tiered, this three-layered meditation, we're going to be bringing our awareness deeper into our heart. We're going to be bringing the awareness of a clear-like space. And we're going to be bringing the awareness that the function of the mind is to cognize, or to impute. Again, I'm out of time, so I think the third one will be the actual meditation, perhaps an introduction to the meditation, a quick recap, and then just some of what to expect or to look for.